Welcome to the Wild West, where the landscapes are vast and the dangers are real. This was a land where survival wasn't just about brute strength or speed, but about preparation, adaptability, and having the right tools at your disposal. Picture yourself as a cowboy, standing alone in the wilderness, the horizon stretching out endlessly before you. You're not just up against the elements here, there's wildlife to contend with and perhaps even outlaws on the prowl. And your survival? Well, it all hinges on what you've got in your saddlebag. Your gear was your lifeline. Each piece a necessity, not a luxury. From navigation tools to shelter, from fire-starting equipment to sustenance, your survival gear was as crucial as the horse beneath you. Let's saddle up and explore the must-have cowboy trail equipment that helped cowboys in the Old West survival. Because in the Wild West, being prepared wasn't just about staying alive, it was a way of life. The first items on our list are all about navigation and communication. In the expansive Wild West, where territories were often unmarked and the landscapes vast, cowboys relied heavily on compasses and maps. These were rudimentary compared to what we have today, but they served their purpose well. Cowboys would use these tools to plot their path, mark their progress, and navigate through unknown lands. A good compass was as good as gold, and a well-drawn map was a cowboy's best friend. But what about when they needed to communicate over long distances? That's where the signal mirror came in. Now, this might seem like a simple tool, but its effectiveness cannot be overstated. A signal mirror could catch the sunlight and project a beam that could be seen for miles. This was incredibly useful for signaling other members of a trail drive, especially when they were spread out over vast distances. Moreover, in the event of an emergency, a signal mirror could be used for rescue signaling, potentially saving lives. Well, imagine yourself in the shoes of a cowboy. With these tools in hand, cowboys could navigate vast territories and maintain communication over long distances. In the harsh conditions of the Wild West, shelter and warmth were crucial. Let's imagine this scenario: a cowboy, out in the open plains, under the wide expanse of the sky. The sun might be relentless during the day, but come nightfall, the desert can turn bitterly cold. In such conditions, two items were indispensable: the oilskin tarp and the wool blanket. The oilskin tarp was a cowboy's best friend when it came to protection against the elements. This wasn't your average tarp. The fabric was treated with oils and waxes, making it water-resistant and durable. Whether it was a sudden downpour or a dust storm, the oilskin tarp could be quickly thrown up to create a makeshift shelter. It could be spread on the ground as a damp-proof barrier, or used to cover and protect essential gear from the weather. Versatile, lightweight, and easy to carry, it was an essential piece of a cowboy's kit. Now let's talk about the wool blanket. When the sun dipped below the horizon and the desert chill set in, the wool blanket was a cowboy's warm embrace. Wool, unlike many other materials, provides insulation even when wet, making it the ideal choice for those unpredictable desert conditions. Wrapped in his wool blanket, a cowboy could hunker down for the night, protected from the cold ground and the freezing air. But these blankets served more than just one purpose. In times of need, they could be used as makeshift stretchers, or even as signals for help, their dark forms contrasting against the sandy terrain. And of course, when morning came, and it was time to saddle up and move on, the blanket could be rolled up tight, taking up minimal space on the horse's back. With these items, cowboys could brave the cold desert nights and unpredictable weather. Fire was a critical element of survival for cooking, warmth, and signaling. Let's delve into two essential tools that helped cowboys manage fire in the wilderness: the ferro rod and the cast iron skillet. Imagine this. You're out in the open wilderness, the night is drawing near, and the temperatures are starting to drop. What you need is a fire. Cowboys didn't have the luxury of lighters or matchboxes. They relied on a tool that has been in use for over 1,000 years, the ferro rod. This compact weatherproof fire starter was a cowboy's best friend when it came to creating sparks. A quick strike against a sharp edge, and voila, you've got yourself a fire. But the utility of the ferro rod didn't stop at just providing warmth and a sense of security against the nocturnal predators. Fire was also a means of communication. A well-placed fire could send smoke signals visible for miles, an essential lifeline in times of danger or when lost. Now, with a roaring fire at their disposal, the next tool in our cowboy survival kit comes into play: the cast iron skillet. This heavy-duty cookware was as versatile as it was durable. It could be placed directly over an open flame, making it ideal for cooking everything from beans to bannocks. Its near indestructibility meant that it could be packed and transported without any worry of damage. The cast iron skillet was also a cowboy's culinary canvas. Out in the wilderness, far from the luxuries of home, this simple piece of cookware allowed them to whip up hearty meals. Whether it was a simple stew, a fried catch of the day, or a slab of venison seared to perfection, the cast iron skillet was the cowboy's kitchen in the wild. With these tools, cowboys could ensure they had a warm meal and a way to signal others. Fire and cooking, two fundamental survival elements, were made manageable in the Wild West by the humble ferro rod and the versatile cast iron skillet. Sustenance was another key aspect of survival in the Wild West. When you're out on the trail, miles from the nearest town, you can't exactly pop into a supermarket for supplies. Cowboys had to carry everything they needed with them, and that included food and water. Let's start with hardtack. This simple biscuit, made from flour, water, and sometimes salt, was a staple of the cowboy diet. It was easy to make, easy to carry, and most importantly, it was long-lasting. Even after weeks or months on the trail, hardtack would still be edible if a bit hard on the teeth. And when food supplies were running low, a piece of hardtack could mean the difference between a full belly and going hungry. Jerky was another food that cowboys often carried. Made by drying strips of meat in the sun, jerky was lightweight, compact, and packed with protein. It could be eaten on its own or rehydrated and added to soups or stews, and like hardtack, jerky could last for a long time without spoiling. But food wasn't the only concern. Water was just as important, if not more so. In the arid landscapes of the Wild West, sources of fresh water could be few and far between. That's where the canteen came in. Made from metal or leather, canteens were used to carry water on long journeys. They were often covered with cloth, which could be soaked in water to help keep the contents cool through evaporation. A full canteen could be a lifesaver in the hot, dry conditions of the Wild West. So there you have it. Hardtack, jerky, and a canteen. These items may seem simple, but they were crucial for keeping cowboys fed and hydrated on their long journeys. Without them, surviving the Wild West would have been a whole lot tougher. In the wild, dangerous situations were a fact of life. Cowboys had to be prepared for all sorts of threats, from outlaws to wildlife, and to do so, they relied heavily on a couple of key tools for both defense and hunting. First up, the iconic revolver. This wasn't just a sidearm, it was a lifeline. It gave the cowboys a fighting chance against the unforeseen dangers of the wilderness. The revolver was chosen for its reliability, easy maintenance, and powerful stopping force. Whether it was a rattlesnake on the trail or an outlaw in a saloon, the revolver was the cowboys' go-to for swift defense. But it wasn't just about protection. The revolver also played a critical role in hunting. It was used to bring down small game, providing a valuable source of food during long trail drives. The skill to accurately shoot a moving target was a badge of honor among cowboys, a testament to their survival prowess. Next, let's talk about the Bowie knife, named after Jim Bowie, a legendary figure of the American West. This tool was a jack of all trades. Its large, sharp blade was perfect for close-quarters defense, but it was also a handy tool for mundane tasks. Cowboys used it for everything from skinning game to cutting through thick brush. The Bowie knife was an indispensable part of the cowboy's toolkit. It was not only a formidable weapon, but also a versatile tool for survival. In the hands of a skilled cowboy, it could be used to prepare food, build shelter, and even create traps for hunting. These two items, the revolver and the Bowie knife, were the cowboy's primary means of defense and hunting. They were more than just tools. They were symbols of the cowboy's resilience and adaptability in the face of constant danger. These tools were essential for protection against outlaws and wild animals. The Wild West was a dangerous place, and survival often came down to the cowboy's skill with his revolver and Bowie knife. A cowboy's horse was his most valuable asset. These majestic creatures were much more than a mode of transportation. They were a cowboy's lifeline, providing the means to cover vast distances, carry supplies, and even serve as companions in the lonely wilderness. In this harsh environment, taking care of one's horse was not just an act of kindness, it was a matter of survival. The two key tools in a cowboy's horse care kit were horseshoes and a set of basic tools. Horseshoes, made of durable metal, were essential to protect the horse's hooves from the rugged, often rocky terrain. Without these, a horse could easily become lame, leaving the cowboy stranded miles from anywhere. But horseshoes were not a one-size-fits-all solution. They needed to be fitted and changed regularly, which is where the basic tools came in. A cowboy had to carry nails and a mallet to replace worn or damaged horseshoes. This might seem like a simple task, but it required both skill and strength. The cowboy had to be careful to avoid injuring the horse while ensuring the shoe was securely fastened. Another vital tool in a cowboy's horse care kit was the rope. Now you might be thinking, what does a rope have to do with horse care? Well, quite a lot actually. Ropes, usually made from braided leather, were used for a variety of purposes. They could be used to secure the horse, to lead it, or even to fashion a makeshift harness. But perhaps most importantly, a rope could be used in emergencies to help a horse out of a difficult situation, such as getting stuck in mud or tangled in brush. With these tools, cowboys could ensure their horses stayed healthy and mobile. It's a testament to the cowboys' resourcefulness and adaptability, and a reminder that no matter how advanced our technology gets, there's still a lot we can learn from the ways of the Wild West. That concludes our exploration of cowboy survival essentials. We journeyed through the Wild West, learning how cowboys navigated unmarked territories, communicated across vast landscapes, and protected themselves from the elements and potential threats. We discovered the importance of fire and cooking tools, how they managed their food and water supplies during long treks, and the vital role of horse care. It's clear that every item had its purpose, each one contributing to the cowboy's survival in the wilderness. These tools and techniques are as relevant today as they were during the days of the Wild West, reminding us that being prepared is not just about having the right gear, but also the knowledge and skills to use them effectively. If you found this content valuable, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your fellow preppers. Drop a comment below about which item you found most indispensable. Stay prepared, and until next time, keep pioneering your own adventures.